Hello, I'm Jay Gregory. I'd like to welcome you to PSE's Wild Outdoors. This week, we're going to be joining longtime staff members of the Wild Outdoors, Gregg McCoy, Scott Wampler. We're going to go with you on a journey over the years, kind of show you some of the things that have helped in their success.
A bow hunter is someone who embraces the ultimate challenge and becomes one with nature. Overcoming obstacles, enduring difficulties, patiently waiting for opportunities that may not come. This is bow hunting. Outdoorsmen by nature, bow hunters by choice. This is PSE's Wild Outdoors, and we bow hunt everything. And it all starts now.
You know the old adage that you can't kill a big buck if he isn't there? Well, there's nothing more true than that. And living in a good state that has great age structure and big bucks, that helps too. Illinois is definitely that type of a state. Let's join Gregg McCoy a few years ago where he proves to you just how good Illinois can be.
It's November 13th. Scott and I are in Illinois hunting over a decoy. It ain't gonna get any better than this, so we're just gonna get settled in. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're just gonna wait them out, see what happens. Stay with us. Hey Scott, here comes that deer. We come back in here, we watched him. He went right up over top of this hill, and that's the last time we seen him. We come in here, I told Scott, so we come up in here, found the blood, the deer's laying right up here. Let's go check him out. We got, man, we got pictures of this deer from early spring during the summertime, and this deer here has actually literally been from one end to the farm to the other. We ran in this deer on our L field. We killed the deer tonight on the northeast field. That's 2 miles away.
2 miles away, that's quite a distance. But you know, really, during the rut, when these bucks get to traveling, breeding, following does, it's not really that far. In fact, trailing a hot doe is what got this next buck in trouble.
is exciting. We had a doe come down this hill about 5 minutes ago. She got directly downwind of us. Thank God for these ozonics, I'm telling you. About 5 minutes later, this buck come off this hill. It's been tough for Scott and I the last 10 days. We finally got something in front of us that's worth shooting. Another good ending to the flower draw. This is the fourth buck we've taken out. This draw's been really good to us. It's the fourth deer we've taken out of here in the last 4 or 5 years. And
both of those bucks were killed in a travel corridor 3 years apart. Gregg and Scott figured out a long time ago you find a really hot pinch point and it can be good from year to year.
This segment of PSE's Wild Outdoors is brought to you by Sitka Gear.
PSE's Wild Outdoors is being brought to you by PSE Archery, Yeti Coolers built for the wild, Stirka Optics, Slash Inset Blade Arrow System, Carbon Force PSE Arrows, Hueyman Extendable Saws, Polaris, and Sitka Gear.
Killing a buck during the rut, even in good state's one thing. But if you're gonna try and kill one in the early season, it requires a lot of hard work, food plot, preparation, taking pictures, making sure you know what's out there. Gregg and Scott do a great job at this in the early season.
well, it's October 2nd here in Illinois. Scott and I are hunting over Antler King food plot. It's an awesome spot. We've been getting some really good pictures of deer on this field. It's gonna be an awesome hunt. Hopefully tonight's the night that buck comes in here. All right, it's about 6, maybe 10 after. The buck we were after just showed up. Second day in October. Got a shooter in the field. He's probably about 70, 80 yards out there. We need him close to distance. See if we can put a TKO on him. Still got a little light left, but I doubt if he comes back. But he'll be here. We'll catch up with him before season's over. You can bet on that.
Well, Gregg was pretty confident that before season's end, they might get a crack at this buck again. Little did he know, even on a different wind and a different setup, that buck shows up a couple days later.
Tonight we got a southeast wind, south-southeast wind, which is blowing right in our face. And it's a perfect spot. We switch blinds on him. That deer comes out tonight, he's gonna be in our kitchen. It's gonna be a close shot, so. All right, we got some deer coming in. One of them's a hook, one of them's the one we're after. early Illinois. Nice mature buck down. It doesn't get any better than this.
This segment of PSE's Wild Outdoors is brought to you by Polaris.
This segment of PSE's Wild Outdoors is brought to you by Hueyman Extendable Saws.
One of the coolest stories that I ever remember from Gregg and Scott was on this buck called the double throat patch. You know, it's pretty cool when you hunt the same properties year after year and you're able to get pictures of a deer and you kind of get to know him. They had several encounters with this buck, and the first time they saw him was in 2009.
Man, it makes me sick. That's the way Gregg and I's year has been going.
You know, we've all made that mistake, not stopping a buck before we shoot. I was pretty sure the next year when we saw this buck coming in, Scott wasn't gonna make the same mistake twice.
Man. You gotta be kidding me. I've been kicking myself for the last encounter I had with him. I didn't completely stop him. Gregg and I just said, make sure you stop him. I grunted at him. Why you say he took off?
Well, the year before, poor Scott doesn't stop the buck and misses. The next year, he tries to grunt at the buck to stop him and he spooks and takes off, and I've only had that happen one time that I can ever remember, but it certainly happened to Scott. Little did he know that maybe the third time was gonna be a charm.
There's a doe down there, Gregg. Double throw badge. Double throw badge. Get him. Come on, dude. Dude, you just jacked double throw badge up. I just smoked double throw badge. We just drained double throw badge right there. Oh my God. We've been after that deer for 3 years.
And we just got in a stand a half hour ago, and it just paid off, baby. It is only the second shooter I have seen all year since I've been hunting. Gregg killed a good one early. I've been hunting hard since the 1st of November, and that is only the second shooter I've seen. Last night was the first. Tonight, we just got in a stand, and Gregg and I just killed double throat patch, baby. Dude, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Well, this is the deer Gregg and I have been after for 3 years now. We call him double throat patch. Just a big, mature, big block-headed 6.5-year-old. I missed him 2 years ago, and I'll tell you what, I sure am glad I did now. I was wondering if I'd ever catch up with him again, and he decided to come in the draw that Gregg and I were in tonight. I was a lucky man holding the bow, so couldn't be happier.
Well, to me, that's the ultimate trophy. 3 years worth of chasing this buck, the trials and tribulations that go along with it. I'm sure that buck means more to Scott than probably any other he's ever shot. And he didn't have a bad rack either. Make sure and check out our new website at bowhunteverythingtwo.com for merchandise and videos and everything wild outdoors. Also follow along on Facebook and Twitter for our daily updates from the field. Well, just to reiterate what we talked about earlier, it takes basically 3 things, especially in the late season, for success. 1, you gotta be in a great state. You gotta have big deer. 2, you've gotta scout, make sure you know which deer are still alive, run your cameras, do your homework. Number 3, and most importantly, is all that hard work you did in the early season planting food plots really comes into play now. In the late season, there's nothing more important than food. And when all 3 of those elements come together, you can have a great late season hunt just like Gregg did. Listen up. He went down right over there. Whew, man, I didn't think anything was gonna happen tonight. But we had a buck, we call a brow time buck. He come in. We've been after him all year. He's a good 8-pointer, 4.5, 5.5-year-old deer. He ain't gonna get no bigger than that. Got big long brows on him. So
I told Scott, I said, I heard him crash right up here. I said, I'm going to go in to where I thought I heard the crash was, and that's it. If we don't find him, we'll pull out till tomorrow. But I walked up here, walked right up his trail, and found my arrow. Deer's laying right up here, so let's go take a look at him. Really nice buck, got huge brow tines. That's why he got the nickname brow tine buck. We knew this buck on our farm for the last 2 or 3 years, been getting pictures of him. This was the first time this year we had an opportunity at him. It's a perfect way to close out a season.
Boy, that is a great way to close out the season. And in fact, Gregg had that same opportunity last year.
All right, it's about 4:15. This deer should be moving in this field anytime if they're gonna be in here.
Well, no worries, Greg. Maybe this was just the start of another 3-year quest for another awesome buck. Well, it's about all the time we've got for this week's show. I'd like to thank Greg and Scott for sharing their hunts with us. We'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week right here on PSE's Wild Outdoors.